Hey guys, this is Backlog Gaming here with another episode, the final episode of our series about Ascended Armor. Now, what we are covering today is going to be infusions. There's a lot of different types of infusions that you can purchase for your new Ascended set of gear, but today we're going to be covering them fairly quickly. So, first we're going to start with your basically your simple infusion. This is going to be the +5 infusion that you can buy from the vendor in the fractals for 75 relics. This is going to be +5 agony resistance. This is going to be your most common type of infusion that you see out there. If you are running fractals, I highly recommend that you buy this type of infusion if you're trying to get your AR resistance up and continue to progress in higher levels for fractals. So again, very simple, +5 agony resistance, nothing too great to it. We're going to keep building off of that. So the next one that I have here is an offensive infusion. Now, an offensive infusion can go into an offensive slot on your armor. So if you have any offensive infusion slots, like one on your rings or something like that, or accessories, or on your back piece, or on your neck, or your ammunition, your weapons are offensive also. Now, these are going to allow you to put in certain stats. Now, there's only certain stats that can go into offensive. That's going to be condition, power, condition damage, power, and precision. So, depending on which one you put in there, those can only slot into offensive type slots. So remember that when you're doing it. Now, the ones that I have currently in my armor are going to be the Mighty World v World infusions. This gives me the +5 power bonus that I was looking for, but it does not give me the agony resistance that I was looking for. If you want the agony resistant infusion for the +5, also you're gonna have to craft that in the Mystic Forge. Go ahead and head over to Guild Wars 2 wiki for that recipe if you want to craft those. Another thing that you can do is defensive infusion slots. So if you have a defensive infusion slot, which you're not going to see any on this type of armor because I have versatiles in there, defensive infusion slots are going to work exactly like offensive infusion slots, but only in defensive infusion slot type of gear. So with that being said, you're going to get healing power, toughness, or vitality. You can purchase the World v World ones if you wanted. That's going to be 5 laurels and 125 badges of honor. There is a +4 that you can buy from the laurel vendor. That's just going to be +4 of one of those 3 stats that you can slot into your defensive slot infusion. Now, what we're going to build on is there is this thing called the Omni Infusions. Now, Omni Infusions are what you're going to want to use, and what I personally used in order to basically slot offensive stats into a defensive slot, or vice versa. So if you wanted to slot defensive stats into an offensive slot, you can do that too. With mine, you have to craft these ones in the Mystic Forge. You cannot purchase them from any vendor. They are very expensive to do. They require 250, depending on what stat you're going for, tier 6 material. With power, you're looking at vials of powerful blood. So here you have them. Your defensive slots are going to include your armor. So you got 6 there. It's going to include 1 accessory and 1 ring. So you got another 2 there. So if you wanted to go this route, you're going to have to craft the 6 for the armor, 2 for the accessories, or 8 total infusions in order to accomplish that. So there's one other type of infusion out there that people really don't wonder about. That's going to be sold by the Laurel vendor. Now, let's just head over to a Laurel vendor to check them out real quick, because they're a little bit funny. Now, these are going to be called utility infusions. Now, utility infusions can only go into a utility slot. Utility slots are only found on your amulets, so you can get 1. So 1 unused utility infusion slot, as you can see there on the screen. So if you have those, you can arrow down to the bottom here, and you're going to see Gilded, which is 20% gold drops from monster. Magic Find, another 20%. Experienced from kills, 20%. And 15% karma. So you can go ahead and slot these. You can only get 1 to slot into your actual amulet, and you have to buy the utility slot amulet in order to do that. So as I have here, which as you can see on my particular character, I think it's this one, yeah. The offensive infusion slot is what I chose for my character, so I could slot it with that extra +5 power. But if you wanted to gain extra experience, you could basically get the utility version of the Berserker stats and slot it with one of those. Now, the final type of infusion that we have is a little bit different. Now, this one you probably won't run around too much within the game, but this is going to basically go on infused items. So if you infuse your back piece or you infuse your 2 rings, you can do this type of deal where you can take your +1 agony infusions I just picked up from my bank. So you can take these +1 agony infusions, basically use the Mystic Forge, craft them into more agony resistance that you can then turn around and slot to a particular ring where you see those unused agony infusion slots. So you can slot 2 there. I don't have an ascended back piece, so I'm not going to, an infused back piece, so I'm not going to have the extra slot for agony resistance on that one, but you could gain an extra 15 to your agony resistance on top of whatever you else have for infusion slots. So that's infusions in a nutshell, guys. It's just pretty much whatever you're looking to do. Again, if you're going to be slotting defensive slot with offensive infusions, it is expensive. That's just the way that you have to go about it. So anyways, guys, that concludes this series of Ascended Armor. So that covers pretty much everything that I have to say about Ascended Armor on how to acquire it and what you should equip with it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want more Guild Wars 2 content. If you are interested and you like this series, please share it with your friends where you got this information. That helps out a lot. So I'll take any help I can get when I'm helping you guys. So again, any questions, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.